Hello guys, welcome to this new and exciting episode. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Farai, hence the name just Farai Forex, right? So in today's episode, we're actually going to talk about liquidity, which is what is liquidity. That's the first thing that we're actually going to talk about. Then we're going to talk about the liquidity zones in the market, then the theory of liquidity, plus the real-time examples, right? So okay, when I say real-time examples, I'll definitely include entries and stuff. So before I do anything that's actually crazy, let's first define what liquidity is. So liquidity is simply money or a very large orders that must be fulfilled, right? The market continuously fills these liquidities in order to move to generate momentum, right? Liquidity is what makes the market. So with this definition that I got here, we have understood that like when we see liquidity, that's when we talk about stop losses, especially stop losses, right? Because the market maker knows where we put our stops as retail traders, because we learn one thing over and over, right? So we have to first talk about swing points and stuff where we can actually find this liquidity. So let me move right down. Okay, before I can actually move to an explanatory chart, let me explain what is actually here, right? So according to what I was saying, right, you can actually see that we had a swing point here, which means that the market was trapping. People were actually buying. Then after trapping those guys, he reversed, right? So there are many buy orders here that are actually trapped here. Then at this point there's also liquidity, so I'm actually going to put a dollar sign, because after trapping these sales, the market had to reverse, right? Because many sellers are here, right? You see the concept. You can actually see that there's also liquidity here. So this move here that was done, this second move here, was to actually take the liquidity that was right above here, right? Because there were sellers at this point, right? People who knew that the market was actually reversing. So when they saw the near this point, they had to put their stop losses up here, and this move is here to take those guys out and to induce more buyers to enter the market. So right now, let me move to this one here before I can actually move to a real chart. Guys, you have to understand this is actually happening daily, right? So as of me, I'm actually that level counting trader. I consider levels, right? So as you can actually see right here, we've got a good peak formation low here. Then we have something like our level 1 push, then consolidation level 2, right? Consolidation level 3. So before I say anything that's actually crazy, you can actually see that we had this swing point here. 1 2 3 1 1. It's also a swing point, but we'll talk about this one. Yeah, this one, these are all swing points, right? And there lies liquidity. So let's first talk about this first move up to here. You can actually see that here many people were actually buying from this point up to this point. Then there were those guys who knew that the market was actually selling. Then I don't know the tricks that they actually use. So they put their stops above here. So here is liquidity, right? Here is where liquidity lies. So you can actually see that the market, had to go down. This move was actually done to induce more buyers into the market who were actually taken out by this move, right? So you can see right here we had a good W, right? Right, this is where it starts to get interesting. So you can actually see that we had a good W here. So those guys who trade double bottoms, they saw this W coming, so they were piling buys like crazy. So if somebody puts buys, right, he actually places his top loss right below that W. So here is where liquidity lies, right? Here is where liquidity lies. So you can actually see that as those buyers were buying, the market actually reversed from nowhere, right? So when people saw the market reversing, some of the people, they were actually selling, because you can actually see that here the market created something like an M here. Hey, this market maker is just too much. I will definitely show you the real chart of what actually happens, right? So you can actually see that the market had to go down here. So this was a trade mechanism. You can actually see that he went down here to take out the liquidity that is actually here, hence the term liquidity sweep. So people were actually taking out as well as many people were actually selling this M. So after the market maker had actually trapped enough volume for that thing, because first and foremost, the market maker, he has to trap people, right, who put a lot of orders, right? So it's all about the number of orders that are actually in a certain direction. So you can actually see that there were many sales here, hence the market maker had to reverse to take all that money. You can actually see that this liquidity sweep move was actually done to take all this money. You see, boom, shalalala. then we went up to here. You can actually see that it's one and the same concept that is actually happening over time, but with different formalities and stuff, right? So you guys, what I want you to do right now, I want you to make sure that your level counting is in order so that you won't be stopped by these crazy S moves, right? So right now, let me shift to a real chart and show you. Okay, this was something like the GBP JPY, which is Great Britain pound in Japanese yen. So we can actually see that we are with our peak formation low here, right? And I want to show you something that is actually important. So we have to take a look at this move here. Sorry about that. So there were people who are those kind of people who trade pullbacks, right? Let me fill this one so that we can get a crazy understanding of this. So you can actually see that. So as the market was actually progressing, right, you can actually see that we had a pretty cool looking M right here on level 1 pullback, right? We have this crazy looking M here. Boom, shalala. You guys have to understand this market, man. It's all psychology before we talk about anything else, right? So this was our good looking M, okay? And the mechanism of this M is that people were to do some crazy things, right? So I need something that can paint the charts. I don't know where to find it, but to talk. So as people saw this crazy M, so we are talking about this first leg of this M, this like crazy fake M, right? So when people actually saw the market reversing here, right? Because if you can shift to the, remember this is the H4. If you can shift to the H1, you can actually see that this is a clear M, right? I'll shift to that. So as people saw this first leg, they were actually piling up sales. Then when they were selling, they were putting their stop losses slightly above this first leg, right? And this move up to here was actually done to take people who were actually selling at this point because they were putting their stop losses above. So this move also done to induce people to enter buys. So as you can see here, the market maker actually took enough liquidity to reverse the market, right? So he reversed up to here, right? You can actually see now that something like a good looking that is enticing and something like that. So people were piling sales, right? Okay, before I go any further, we can actually see that this one is a swing. I had forgotten this point. This one is a swing point, right? And those guys who were buying at this point here were actually were taken out by this move that was actually done here to take this liquidity. There is liquidity here. So you can actually see this move was done to induce more sellers into the market as well as to take the liquidity that was actually here. So the market maker, after taking that liquidity here to shift up again, and here everything was well. You can actually see that he didn't move much with this move. He just moved on equal things because there was not much liquidity. He had already trapped around these areas, right? So guys, I hope you understood what this is all about. Liquidity sweep. Okay, liquidity sweep is just sweeping, like sweeping your room and stuff. So I really appreciate you guys for watching these videos. Thank you for liking, thank you for commenting, and thank you once again for 206 subscribers. I hope we reach 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Thank you guys.